So we're going to take one piece from Gimel. Gimel is very long and it's beautiful. It's all about Maaser. And we're going to take about one. What? No, no, we got outside. You say it outside, you understand it better. It's all right. Don't worry. Recap. It's called a recap. There's a Gemara in Ta'anit that says that Rabbi Yochanan sees Resh Akish's son, and he tells him, "Tell me pasuk you're learning." You know, like when you go to your sister's house, now you can tell you, "Kid, what do you learn in school?" Right? So he tells him a pasuk, right? Aser Maaser te'aser, right? He's supposed to give maaser. Rabbi Yohanan says, so Resh Lakish's son says, what does that mean? So he answers, give maaser in order to become wealthy. Aser b'shvil shetit asher. But he says, how do you know this? Resh Lakish's son says, where do you get this from? He tells him, go test Hashem. Rabbi Yohanan answers, zil nasi, go test him. He tells him, and since when are you allowed to test God? And what is he? And he answers. He brings another pasuk. He says, "Lo tenasu et Hashem." You're not allowed to test Hashem. What are you talking about? And so Rabbi Yohanan answers. This is the teaching of Rabbi Hoshaya. That have a pasuk in Malachi explaining you're not allowed to test Hashem only in this, only in tzedakah you're allowed to test Hashem, as it says, "Have you et kol amaaser et beta otzad." That give me the maaser from your thing, and you're gonna see that that your house is gonna be filled with food, right? Ubhanunina bezot. Test me, Hashem, right? Call Hashem, because if it tests me to see if I'm not gonna open up the skies, the windows of the skies, and shower you down with gifts, right? And he continues, says, what is, and it says ad bilidai. That's the whole thing. What does it mean ad bilidai? That your mouth stops saying enough. Right? So there's three questions that we ask. The first one is, what kind of answer is the Rabbi Yohanan giving to the son of Resh Lakish? Where he says, when he said, where do you know this from? He should have just said the pasuk that says, Heviu et kol ha'maaseh. The pasuk says, bring all the maaseh. Right? And the second question is, why did the kid answer? He said, if I would have known that pasuk, I wouldn't need you, and I wouldn't need the teachings of Rabbi Shia. Very harif, very not nice. And the third one is, if it's not derech eretz for this kid to speak this way,
being brought down.
Why did Gemara bring it?
What are we learning from this?
Right. What is the purpose? What is the Gemara recording it for? So those are the three questions. So we break down first the understanding of what the Yenuka, the student, the son of Resh Lakish problem was in the beginning. If you want to say, like we said before, like all the other examples of the double lashon is coming to teach you something, coming to include something. You can't apply that to ased to ased. Why? Remember, we brought in the pasuk. You know, if you have a slave, right, and you're releasing the slave, you got to let him go with stuff. You can't just let him go stam, right? You have to. We learned that from the pasuk. Ha'anek ta'anik. And then we brought up Fatoa Tiftach. If you gave tzedakah once, give it again. Right? Not 20-10. If I gave a lot, I gave a little. Doesn't matter. I need your 10, I need the other 10. It's coming to include not just this, coming to include more. But you can't include that for Ased. You can't include that for Maased, because the Maased of the Dagan, of the grain, or the Perot, it is what it is. It's already included in the Pasuk, Et Kol Tevuat Zarecha. Right? So, and you can't give Maaser twice in 1 year from your field. You feel, you harvest your field once a year, not twice a year. So what is this coming to include? Right? So, right? Halosha Maaser Hadu. It's all one Maaser. Right? So what does Rabbi Yohanan answer? He's saying the Kevel Lashon is coming to teach you that you're allowed to give Shemutar le'aser b'dat HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you're allowed to give the money. You're allowed to give the money with the intention of Hashem granting you a beracha in this year and in the next year. That's why the pasuk ends by saying Shana Shana. Right? You're allowed to test God. Shetatzliach ketzirato. Right? That you're allowed to be matzliach in ziriato, and for the following year, right, ketzirato. So year 1 and year 2. Right? That's why the pasuk says, right, double lashon. שאם תעשה לדעת זאת תראה מיד שתתקיים בקשתך בשעה הבאה מה שאין כן למאור. So remember, the pasuk also says, in order that you will be blessed, give maaser in order so you will be blessed. So you don't learn the immediate beracha from the words of the pasuk leman yivarechecha. Why? Because you don't know. The beracha can come 10 years from now. You don't know when it's going to come. But with the fact that it says you could test me now, right? And the double lashon is to teach you that it will be make you successful in this year and in the following year right away. Instant gratification. Right. When you plant and when you harvest. And what is the answer? The kid answers, says, how do you know this? How do you know that it's going to come right away? right? And he says, test them, give it a shot. That's what he says, right? ואין עוד להקשות הקיצוץ שהיה לו להשיב בפסוק, right? ובחנוני. And we don't have to ask why did he just tell him the beracha, the pasuk, ubhanoni na bezot, because even with that pasuk, it doesn't prove to you that you're going to get it right away. So what does Rabbi Yohanan say? The proof is in the pudding. Start giving and you'll see. He tells them, right? And because this pasuk only shows you that this is the only mitzvah you're allowed to test Hashem in. It doesn't teach you that the reward is going to come immediately. Okay? And what does the kid say? The kid says that I could prove that from the pasuk anyway. I don't need you extra word. I could look from the pasuk anyway. Why? Because if it doesn't come right away, it's not such a test. He says, test me. If you get it in the third year, not in the second year, we said Zeriah and Ketzirah. You plant and you harvest.
You can't attribute it to the masel you gave in the first
Cannot
year.
attribute to this third if it happens in the third, because maybe something happened in the second year. Maybe there was something extenuating circumstances. But if it happens dafka right away, then it makes sense. Then I could connect it, right? And what Rabbi Yoshaya says, there's no hidush. Right? Because I would know that because Rabbi Yohanan answers him that Rabbi Yoshaya is teaching you that to test Hashem is not only in that year. The Navi Malachi is talking to Bnei Israel, tell them Ubahanuni na bezot, test me now in this. And he says the word na is extra. Just say Ubahanuni bezot, test me in this. Well, test me through this. And so Rabbi Yohanan says we need this teaching to show you that it's not just year one, it's even now. Right? Dorei Dorot, 5783. Right? And the kid, the son of right, Resh Akish says, I don't need that. He wasn't impressed with that. He says, it doesn't matter. Any pasuk says it's not talking about now, this year. It's talking about, what do you mean? It's a mitzvah. We said, Bahai Bahem. Right? It's not just sometimes. Now you have to start bringing pesukim to prove that it's not only in this year, it's for all years. Right? So I don't buy that. He says, if the pasuk says it, so what's it coming? It's saying that the beracha is going to come right away. And I would have learned that from the pasuk. I don't need Rabbi Yoshia to teach me. It's not only now; it's for later generations. Right? He says, I know that that's going to be for later generations, regardless. So what are we learning? Is that teach that through this you're going to learn this and only maaseh, that you'll see the instant gratification right away. Right? And that's why we'll stop over here. That's the difference between how Resh Akish was learning, the son of Resh Akish was learning the pasuk versus
Rabbi
Yochanan, and why he brought Rabbi Yoshaya. And our merit of our learning, okay, you should be very matzliach, okay, and you should bring in a lot of tzedakah for meals for heroes and just one hesed, all right, and you should go from high to Mashiach comes, amen.